The deep ocean is the ultimate intelligence frontier. Pressure is immense, visibility is zero, and the rules of engagement are different. For decades, the Navy has operated under the assumption that they dominate this realm. Project Sea-Watch shattered that assumption. This project was the DIA and Naval Intelligence ONI response to a collection of startling, consistent reports from naval assets, unidentified submerged objects, USOs, that routinely outran the fastest torpedoes and maneuvered with physics-defying grace no known nation possessed. This wasn't just a UAP in the water, it was a fundamental challenge to national security. The files prove the U.S. Navy was tracking an unseen fleet. Today, using the technical intelligence reports filed under CIA RDP 89, the entire series, we're going to be determining if the deep sea harbors a classified, hostile intelligence or truly unconventional non-human adversary. USO sightings have never been isolated. They clustered in strategic areas, deep trenches that afforded immediate concealment like the Puerto Rico Trench, and restricted coastal zones like the Baltic Sea near Soviet NATO tension points. The USO signature, repeatedly logged in naval reports and consolidated under Sea-Watch, defied multiple laws of conventional naval physics. 1. Extreme speed and cavitation control. Reports routinely clock targets moving between 100 to 250 knots. At these speeds, a conventional propeller would instantly vaporize the surrounding water, cavitation, creating a deafening noise and massive drag. USOs operated silently. 2. Depth and pressure immunity. The craft traversed extreme pressure gradients from the surface to the deep abysmal zones without showing structural collapse. 3. Inertia violation. The targets displayed the ability to stop instantly or to turn on a dime, maneuvers that would instantly crush the crew of a conventional submersible. A CIA RDP 89 technical assessment noted the crucial failure of hydrodynamics. Quote, analysis of sonar telemetry confirms repeated instances of submerged contact exceeding 200 knots. The absence of discernible cavitation signatures suggests the platform utilizes an unconventional, potentially localized hydrodynamic surface modification technology not currently present in any known terrestrial naval inventory. End quote. The greatest operational failure documented under Sea-Watch was the collapse of anti-submarine warfare, ASW, protocols. USOs were not just fast, they were stealthy. They were often detected only when they chose to be or when they passed through a restricted area too quickly to be ignored. The analysis pointed to 2 likely stealth mechanisms: a composite hull material that defeated active sonar, or a unique cloaking field, perhaps a plasma sheath, that used sound waves. A highly classified ONI, Office of Naval Intelligence, report explicitly lamented the impotence of NATO's most advanced ASW systems. Quote, passive acoustic tracking of identified USO platforms is highly unreliable. The platforms operate below ambient noise level. Active sonar attempts demonstrate significant wave diffusion, suggesting a non-metallic or unconventional composite hull design optimized for acoustic invisibility across multiple frequency bands. End quote. Project Sea-Watch escalated from tracking USOs to analyzing non-submersible objects, NSOs. These were reports of massive, often fixed geometric structures resting on the continental shelves or deep abysmal plains, too large to be conventional submersibles and too regular to be natural geology. Analysts theorized that these NSOs could be 1. Massive staging platforms, unconventional submersible craft that remain static for long periods between activation, or 2. Fixed bases, permanent shielded underwater installations utilized by a foreign or unconventional intelligence. The operational problem was simple. These objects were often found in international waters, but their proximity to sensitive U.S. infrastructure, e.g. underwater communication cables and missile deployment zones, made their presence intolerable. The intelligence analysis of the NSO required the agency to consider the physics of deep-sea construction. How could a structure withstand such pressure for decades? They concluded that any permanent base would require exotic materials and power sources, likely thermal or nuclear. This led to a specific intelligence objective using highly specialized sensors to detect the subtle thermal or electromagnetic signature of an operating base rather than relying on sonar. A CIA RDP 89 assessment detailing the NSO structure confirmed the technological impossibility. Quote, the structural integrity required to maintain a permanent accessible installation at the depths reported necessitates materials and energy density currently assessed as unobtainable by any known terrestrial power. The shielding efficiency against geomagnetic and acoustic detection is assessed as extreme, end quote. The NSO analysis suggested that the deep ocean was not just visited by an unconventional fleet, it might actually be occupied. Project Sea-Watch collected multiple reports of direct aggressive encounters. Naval officers reported being harassed, followed, or outmaneuvered by USOs. The fear was the USOs were not just observing, they were mapping, cataloging, and asserting dominance over U.S. naval assets. The Navy's final assessment was a terrifying confirmation. The deep ocean was no longer a sanctuary. The unconventional fleet could not be defeated with conventional weapons, and the technology gap was perhaps the largest intelligence failure of the late 20th century. Project Sea-Watch is the documented proof that the deepest, most secure environment on Earth is vulnerable to massive, technology-dominant, and currently unidentified intelligence. We are forced to accept that the ultimate fleet is the unseen one. We have covered the silent, crushing depths. Now we return to the land for a specific, focused analysis of geographic contamination where high strangeness is so persistent it becomes a geopolitical factor. Next time we will be pivoting to a deep, regional, but highly intense intelligence file, Project Visual Ute, the DIA and tribal intelligence analysis of persistent, bizarre paranormal activity concentrated in the remote basin of Utah. We will analyze the military and federal intelligence reports that tracked overlapping phenomenon, extreme poltergeist activity, aggressive cryptids like skinwalkers, UAP sightings, and geological anomalies, all surrounding a high-value piece of land in Utah. We'll use CIA RPD 96 addendum memos to assess the core question: was the intense multi-phenomenon activity a natural geomagnetic anomaly, a psychological operation, a PSYOP campaign exploiting Native American folklore, or a sustained non-terrestrial effort to lock down a specific piece of terrain? The documented truth of Project Sea-Watch proves the oceans hold the ultimate secrets, and if this technical journey has captured your focus, then your support for the channel is appreciated as we dive into the strangeness of the high desert of Utah. I'll see you in the archives.